At 5:47 this morning, the golden elevators of Trump Tower didn't carry executives. They carried federal agents with empty boxes. This isn't just another headline. It is the single most aggressive move in the history of the Department of Justice. And we are watching the walls close in on Fifth Avenue in real time. The city of Manhattan has a specific rhythm at dawn. Usually it's the sound of delivery trucks and the first few yellow cabs. But today, February 19th, 2026, that rhythm was broken. At exactly 5:47 a.m, a motorcade that looked more like a military operation than a legal one pulled up to the curb of 725 Fifth Avenue. 6 black SUVs, 30 FBI agents. They didn't come for a meeting, they came for the files. For decades, Trump Tower has been the ultimate symbol of Donald Trump's brand. The gold, the marble, the power. But at 6 a.m. sharp, that symbol became a crime scene. When the lead FBI agent handed that federal search warrant to the building security team, he wasn't asking for permission. He was giving an order. We have authorization to search specific floors and offices in this building. We need immediate access. Do not interfere with this operation. Before we dive into the minute-by-minute breakdown of this raid, you need to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We are tracking this investigation as it unfolds, and the legal analysis you're about to hear is being updated by the hour. You won't get this level of detail anywhere else. By 6:17 a.m, the agents were already on the 26th floor. That's the inner sanctum. That's where the deals are made, where the ledgers are kept, and where the Trump Organization's most sensitive documents live. While the rest of the world was just waking up to their first cup of coffee, the FBI was already opening filing cabinets that have been closed for years. Now let's talk about how we got here. You don't just raid Trump Tower on a whim. The Department of Justice, specifically the Southern District of New York, SDNY, has been playing a very long game. Back on January 12th, federal prosecutors filed a motion that remained under seal for weeks. This motion, according to sources who have seen the groundwork, was a massive document, an omnibus of probable cause. They weren't just guessing. They presented a federal magistrate judge with evidence suggesting that inside those offices were the physical proofs of federal crimes. We're talking about Title 18 United States Code, Section 1344, bank fraud, and Section 1341, mail fraud, along with potential violations of tax statutes and, perhaps most importantly, Section 1512, obstruction of justice. The motion included affidavits from IRS Criminal Investigation, IRSCY agents. These are the forensic accountants with badges. They've been tracking financial transactions, internal memos, and witness testimony that all suggested the 26th floor of Trump Tower wasn't just an office, it was a repository for evidence. On January 15th, Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn, a judge known for her meticulous attention to detail, reviewed every single page of that affidavit. She didn't just rubber stamp it. She looked at the property valuations, the loan applications, and the communications with accountants. She found that the probable cause threshold had been met, and she signed the warrant. Hit that like button right now if you understand how high the stakes are. A federal judge just authorised the FBI to enter the headquarters of a former president. This is uncharted territory. By 6:34 a.m, the news had reached Mar-a-Lago. Trump's reaction was exactly what you'd expect. Immediate, fiery, and aimed directly at his base. He posted on social media claiming the FBI was illegally raiding his home, calling it a witch hunt and prosecutorial misconduct. He even went as far as to say agents were planting evidence. Now, it's important to note, as of this moment, there is zero evidence of that. A search warrant is a legal process overseen by a court. It's not a break-in, it's the law. At 7:15 a.m, the legal counter-offensive began. Alina Habba, one of Trump's lead attorneys, arrived on the scene. Imagine the tension in that lobby. Agents are going up and down the elevators with equipment, and the lawyers are standing there, pens in hand, documenting every move. Habba demanded to see the warrant. The agents complied. They have to. She read it and immediately went on the record calling it overly broad. She claimed they were exceeding their authority. So, I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think the FBI is being too aggressive here, or is this just the law finally catching up? I'm reading every single comment, so let me know where you stand. Let's get into the why of this specific search. Why Trump Tower? Why now? To understand that, you have to understand the difference between this and the Mar-a-Lago raid in 2022. That search was about classified documents, national security. This is about money. In many ways, financial crimes are much harder to hide. When you apply for a loan from a major bank, let's say for a property like 40 Wall Street, you have to submit a statement of financial condition. You tell the bank, this building is worth $500 million. But then, when tax season rolls around, you might tell the IRS, this building is only worth $100 million, so you can pay less in taxes. That valuation gap is the heart of bank and tax fraud. The FBI wasn't just looking for random papers, they were looking for the work papers. They wanted the emails between the Trump organization and their accountants at Mazars or other firms. They wanted the internal memos where someone might have said, hey, we need to juice these numbers to get the Deutsche Bank loan. By 8:47 a.m, the first physical evidence started leaving the building. Witnesses saw agents carrying heavy boxes, the kind designed for legal files, and loading them into the SUVs. Each box was marked as evidence. By 9 a.m, 15 boxes were already gone. That's thousands of pages of documents. At 10:23 a.m, the SDNY issued a statement. It was short, it was dry. It basically said, we are doing a thing. It is legal. No further comment. That is the hallmark of a serious federal investigation. They don't want to win the PR war. They want to win the court case. The midday escalation act. If you thought the executive offices were the only target, you'd be wrong. At 12:15 p.m, the search took a turn into the bowels of the building. Agents moved into the basement storage rooms. This is where things get really interesting. In an age of digital cloud storage, the Trump organization still has a massive amount of legacy paper. We're talking about business records dating back to the 80s and 90s. Some of these boxes haven't been opened in 30 years. Agents were seen taking photos of labels and being very selective about which boxes they pulled. This tells us they aren't just looking for recent stuff, they are looking for a pattern of behaviour that spans decades. If you're still with me, like the video and share it. Most people only see the headlines. We're looking at the actual mechanics of the investigation. By 1 p.m, the count was up to 30 boxes. Trump posted again, calling it a fishing expedition. But legally speaking, if the warrant lists records related to property valuations and the agents find those records in the basement, it's not fishing, it's catching. So how do we measure the success of this raid? I've broken it down into 6 key indicators that will tell us how much trouble Donald Trump is actually in. Indicator 1, the volume. In the world of federal raids, 50 boxes is a motherload. It means they found exactly what they were looking for and then some. Each box can hold about 2,500 pages. You do the math, that's over 100,000 documents. Indicator 2, electronic devices. This is the big one. Agents were seen carrying out hard drives and laptops, and in modern law, the metadata on a file is often more important than the file itself. Who created the document? When was it last edited? Did someone change a 4 to a 9 right before a loan meeting? The FBI's digital forensics team will know within days. Indicator 3, the personal office. Did they go into Trump's actual desk? If they seized personal ledgers or handwritten notes, that provides intent. In fraud cases, you have to prove the person knew what they were doing was wrong. A sticky note saying, make this look bigger, is a prosecutor's dream. Indicator 4, duration. The search lasted 9.5 hours. If this was a nothing burger, they would have been out in 2 hours. The fact that they stayed through lunch and into the late afternoon means they were finding relevant material in every room they entered. Indicator 5, the legal motion to quash. Watch Trump's lawyers. If they file an emergency motion to quash the warrant or appoint a special master, like they did in the Mar-a-Lago case, it means they are desperate to keep the FBI from reading what's in those boxes. Indicator 6, the inventory list. By law, the FBI has to give Trump's lawyers a list of everything they took. When that list becomes public, and it likely will through court filings, we will see the specific property names and tax years the government is targeting. At 2:34 p.m, the legal drama hit a fever pitch. Trump's lawyers filed a letter with the court demanding an immediate halt. They argued the search was causing irreparable harm to the Trump Organization's business operations. Essentially, they were saying the FBI was making it impossible to run a company. The court, however, did not issue an emergency stay. The agents kept working. By 3:30 p.m, the convoy of 6 was finally full. The agents exited Trump Tower, loaded the last of the 50 boxes, and drove away. Total time on site, 9.5 hours. Total haul, 40 to 50 boxes, plus multiple electronic devices. Trump's 4:47 p.m. press conference from Mar-a-Lago was defiant. He called the prosecutors corrupt and the search illegal. But here's the reality. The FBI doesn't care about the press conference. They care about the evidence. What happens now? We are entering the review phase. A team of FBI agents and SDNY prosecutors who are not part of the main investigation, often called a filter team or taint team, will go through the boxes first. Their job is to pull out anything that is protected by attorney-client privilege. Once that's done, the real investigators get the files. They will be looking for the discrepancy. If Box 12 contains a memo saying a property is worth $50 million, and Box 24 contains a tax filing for the same year saying it's worth $5 million, that is evidence of a crime. This is a major escalation. We are no longer talking about classified documents or political rhetoric. We are talking about the fundamental way Donald Trump built his empire. If the foundation of that empire was built on fraudulent valuations, these 50 boxes might just be the tools the DOJ uses to take it apart. The raid is over. The silence has returned to Fifth Avenue, but the reverberations of what happened this morning are going to be felt for years. Stay with this channel. As soon as the inventory list is filed, I will be back with a full breakdown of every item the FBI seized. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss that. This is the FBI, this is Trump Tower, and this is the case that could change everything. The boxes are in the lab and the lawyers are in the courtroom. The question is, what did they find on the 26th floor? We'll find out soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next